Act like you've been there before, Dave.
We're live.
Don't
We
fight.
live. We live. Bloody hell, you didn't tell me. All right. Hello. We're live on Facebook. This is Dave Green's Street View Show. I'm Dave Green. My guest this week is Dylan Gott, stand-up comedian from Canada. He's also the host and creator of Wrestle Review podcast. You can follow him on Twitter on my favorite Twitter handle, Smelly Uncle Dylan, which isn't actually your handle, is it?
It's at Dylan Gott, you
at
stupid
Dylan Gott.
motherfucker.
That's just your name.
You're ruining it.
It's getting aggressive already. I knew this would happen. That's what happens when you get the Canadians on. Nice, smooth outro there, Colin. And I'd like to introduce Colin as well, my new producer. You can flick to yourself, Colin.
Hello.
There he is. Hello,
New producer. What was the old one? Why'd you fire the old one?
Oh, yeah. He isn't fired. I had to kill him.
You had to kill him.
He's no longer with us.
You kill him. Is there a street
he's
view?
Not new, he just is the producer. But I should explain what the show is. This is a virtual tour.
The Weinstein,
a
if you
virtual
will.
tour. Yeah, Harry Weinstein. I had him on. I got rid of him, man. It was a small...
Colin Weinstein.
Small controversy.
Last name's really Weinstein. I had to do some stuff again on this show, and I'm not happy about it.
And that's why we're here today. Man, your career's going really bad if you have to do favors to be on...
To be called for
to be on
Colin?
Dave Green Street
It
View
was
show.
voluntary. I just wanted to... That's fine. Let's talk about...
That's good. Let's talk about life. All right.
Whoa, life. All of life.
So let's get into the show. All right. Where did you grow up, Dylan?
I grew up in Stouffville, Ontario, Canada.
Let's have a little look at that, shall we?
Whoa.
Look at that. I just had it right there ready. What were the chances of that?
Crazy.
How prepared are we? So you grew up behind the street. No, you grew up around here, right? So where is this geographically in the world? Where are we looking at?
We're looking at Stouffville? I don't know. We're looking at like southeast.
Whereabouts in Canada?
Southeast Ontario.
Okay. Cool.
We're looking, this is the high life, baby. We can scroll around this town. You're going to see lawn bowling. You're going to see a lot of white people with their shirts tucked in. Doesn't matter what goddamn thing they're wearing. You tuck your shirt in, even if you're wearing goddamn shorts in Canada, in Stouffville at least. It's great.
That's just what you do.
Yeah, exactly. That's a basketball net. If you're looking at
that's
that,
your actual house. Right?
That's my actual
no
old
one
house.
lives there now, do we? Because we don't want to invade your family's privacy.
No, for sure. Some other people live there, and they're
Okay,
fine
no,
to
you're
be.
fine.
You can knock on the door and say, "Dylan Gott sent you."
Yeah. We've come to take a
And
tour
then
of Dylan's
they
life.
demand a kiss. They're gonna act like that's a surprise, but they really want a kiss.
So what happens if I go down here?
Then if you go down here, you'll see. I don't know if it's still there, but there's a Catholic school that I broke into and took a dump in one time. And then it was one of those
your
things.
go-to thing if breaking in
Because I had to take
really desperate.
I had to take a dump, and I was 16, and I knew my mom. My mom like gets like 4 hours of sleep just because she likes to stay up reading. So I knew that my mom would still be up. So it was really better to do a B&E and take a dump than have to face my mom as drunk as I was. And then I came home, and it had kind of been long enough that I was like super drunk, and I was like, you know what? I think maybe she's not up. Maybe she isn't up. And of course she was up. And then I remember not being as drunk. Like, I'm not being, like, really embarrassingly drunk, but then trying to explain to my mom, like, no. She's like, why do you smell like feces? And I was like, oh, explaining to you that I broke in and took a dump in a Catholic school is way sadder than just telling you I shit myself when I'm drunk, so I'll just say I shit. Like, at least she can understand shitting yourself while you're drunk and not just like, no, I did that. I took a dump in a Catholic school because I thought it was funny and no one else was around. It was a joke just for me. I'm a terrifying person. Oh, this park, I once, me and my friend were walking there, and the end of my innocence was I was 9. Me and my friend were walking in this park, and we saw a guy getting a full beach.
For real?
Yeah, and beach is meeting blowjob.
Did you know what was happening?
No idea. He just went, "Oh, we're just playing." We were like, "Okay."
Oh, he clocked you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were like, "You're 9, but you're still like, what the hell are these people doing?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I see skin where it shouldn't be. And
So
that's the end of my innocence.
So were you aware that it was something you weren't meant to be looking at?
Ooh, no, we were just.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, I'm not really
Yeah.
a reactor. Like, you know how they say it's fight or flight? I'm the third one. I just freeze. So I just was like, what? Then he was like, carry on. We were like, okay. And he just kind of said something, and then we walked away.
How
And now
long
I
were
have to
you
go to
watching
therapy.
Okay. So
How long-
it wasn't like you were there.
How long were we
just
watching? Probably like
for
10
hours.
seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we were like, we'll be right back. And we showed up, and we had full meals. And we were like, carry on, or we'll tell.
Just come back with a little table. Just
It's like a very tiny table. That's all right. This is a weird park. Man,
Did you play
Stouffville
there?
so
Did you
boring.
play there or just watch people get blowjobs? Were
After
you disappointed the next time you went back?
I came back to that park every day for the next 10 years, Dave. Every goddamn day for the next 10 years. That's a mailbox.
Is Dylan a bit loud? Do we need to turn Dylan down a bit? Maybe?
Yeah. I can just go away from the makey. See, this is the do you have a lot of guests who grew up in like cities?
Say again?
A lot of guests that grew up in cities?
It's mainly been suburban, actually.
Mainly
I
suburban.
think lots of comics sort of have some suburban childhood where they just get bored. and then watch
what
people,
happened to like
they see someone get a blowjob in a park and then they're like, right, I guess I'll
if
do
this
comedy.
was the 1930s, the comedian's stories would be like, oh, here's Google Earth where I beat up my dad at 9 and then became a juggler. But now it's just like, oh, I was pretty bored and then I could have been a dentist, but then I decided, no, I want to make 100 pounds a gig.
So what happened? What was this?
This is like legit, like you trying
This
to.
is proper suburban, isn't it?
This is like you trying to find something interesting in this town is fascinating. Anyone who's watching,
Were
this,
you bored here? The young Dylan here, was it quite a boring existence then?
was it very boring? Yeah, I was super bored.
What did you do for entertainment?
Well, behind my house that we were looking at, which is now a subdivision because everywhere has to have buildings on it, I would go into the field and see if any people had dropped off porno because, like every comedian, that was a thing. I'm 32, and that was. Did you have a porno field? Yeah. People would just.
Mine was a bin, actually. It was a bin.
That's fucking gross. I mean, I guess just finding porno in the field is weird to hear about, but finding it in a garbage can, that sounds like you just walked out of some pervert's house and you're like, this guy goes through 6 magazines a week.
It's actually a video.
Oh shit. All right. So you take a left here. Okay. So there, if you want to go, there's a pizza place there. That little plaza. Yeah. That little plaza. There's a pizza place. This used to be that market there. Used to be a video store when those existed. That pizza place really sucks. Then there was a bar around the corner there called the Kick and Punch. Not called the Kick and Punch, but where you like just. Did you guys have the thing where people from your secondary or high school would go fight dads? There was a lot of.
I can safely say that didn't happen.
There was like there was guys who from my high school who would just as a sport they would just go fight someone's dad and then I beat up someone's dad.
Was someone they'd fallen out with's dad?
No, just random dads.
So not like an older guy. It would have to be someone's dad.
Some guy in his early 40s trying to have a drink gets sucker punched in the back of the head by a guy with a backwards Fox Racing hat. Oh yeah, that was good. And they would just be like,
what I'm saying is,
I fucking knocked out a 36-year-old. Because like the guy's.
But did it have to be a dad though? Did the person have to have a?
They didn't do a
offspring?
quiz.
Okay.
I really wish. You a dad?
It's just a funny way to
uncle.
phrase it. You didn't say they were picking fights with.
Oh no, they were picking fights with older men,
dudes.
but they all had they for sure all had kids.
That sounds vaguely sexual.
All the stories were like
this
guy fucking looked at me. He was probably like, "You look like my son who doesn't call." And then fucking drops him. Drop that piece of shit, dad.
That's really sad.
It's great.
Did you ever do it? Did you get in fights or not really?
No, I did not. Like if there was Google Street View, I could if of inside of my house, I could show you like that's where I watch TV, and then that's where I left 18 years later. That's what happened.
So
there was
you're
no
like an indoors type of kid.
Yeah, this is like
computer games.
Computer games. Well, you're a dad, aren't you? I'm gonna get some guy from my fucking hometown to fight you. Oh, a computer game.
Weirdly, everyone assumes I'm a massive nerd from this project, but I never played. I was never a big computer game.
No, if you go on
video games.
If you go on Main Street,
this is basically.
I won't lower myself to say video games. I'm not a fucking weirdo.
This is essentially a video game, but without the competitive element.
Yeah.
I was such a nerd.
This is like
even
Myst.
games were too competitive for me. But anyway,
you can't be such a nerd you didn't play games. Legit, I've never been to this place.
Stop. All right.
This is one of those things where it's like Stouffville to me was essentially like 4 streets We go on Main Street sometimes. Do you want to look up Main Street, Stouffville? Now they have
We got that on here, yeah.
It's funny because Stouffville, I guess, when I was a kid, was more of a. I guess it was more of a small town, but now it's kind of like an English small town where there's like an art center and you can get a latte. The fact you could get a latte in Stouffville is fascinating to me. Like they barely had coffee. They had a place called the Fickle Pickle, where there was just one guy who he had a big grill that he would just cook eggs on, like it was just for eggs. And then a garbage can to throw the eggs in. And then he just assumed everyone wanted eggs. So then two people would come through the door. He'd just like smash the eggs. He had this thing where he'd like shoot the eggs out and it would land perfectly in the right place. And then
like
just
that. The way you did that made it look
it was like
Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, no, legit. Yeah, it was like egg Spider-Man or whatever. And then he would throw the eggs in the garbage. And that's as exciting as Stouffville got.
That was the whole thing.
Buddy, I remember we got a Harvey's. Whew. It's a Canadian
that's
fast
on Main
food
Street,
chain.
right?
Yeah.
I say we look at Main Street, but before we do that, I'm gonna psychoanalyze you with the by looking at the clouds.
Oh, nice. They're all gonna be.
Did you ever
dicks.
do that when you were a kid? Like look at the clouds and see if you saw a picture.
Yeah, and there was always guns. Oh, there's another person behind me.
Let's do that now.
Aladdin.
What do you see there? Aladdin.
Yeah, Robin Williams from Aladdin.
Show me on the trackpad where you're seeing that.
There's Robin Williams from Aladdin. The tail, and now he's
Oh,
Aladdin.
as in like a genie.
Nope, Robin Williams specifically. Or maybe a whale?
Just him. All right.
This is really good music.
It's nice, isn't it?
Are you trying to convert me to your cult? Because I'll join.
Cult of the Cloud Men. And this is why people at home can comment in as well and tell us. Tell us at home, viewers at home.
You're sitting around with a turkey.
This is your chance. Tell us what pictures you see in the clouds.
It's 1:30 p.m. You're sitting around at home, holding your wife so close, so tight. And then who's knocking at the door? It's me at 18. I'm going to fucking fight your dad. I'm going to knock your dad out. How does that feel? I'm your dad now. And you know what? I'm going to put you up for adoption. That's how I do things.
What about this one, Dylan? What does that look like? Tell me.
What does that one look like?
Yeah.
Flames. Flames? And, dude, I don't know. It looks like a fucking cloud. Is there one where you're just? Is there a part of psychoanalyst where you're just super literal? Where you're
like
so uninventive that you're just like, I don't know, man. It's a fucking ink blot.
It looks like ink.
That looks like a little ship.
That does look like a ship. Why do you think you're seeing ships? What does that tell us about your personality?
Because I like to
Do you want to sail away?
I'm Magellan.
Get away from this podcast.
No. I want to join your cult, Dave.
Why are you so convinced I've got a cult?
I don't know, because this music is very cultish.
Eventually this is going to take place in virtual reality.
Can you see the rainbow? Touch the rainbow.
Touch me.
Tell her your mom. Tell her she's nothing to you anymore. Steal your mom's money. So, yeah, that's maybe a little sombrero, too. So a ship and a sombrero, what does that mean? That means I'm literally Magellan. Magellan was Spanish, though. Wasn't he? Let's do away with this.
Magellan from?
I don't deserve these glasses. I just can't see. I'm very dumb.
Right. Now I think we can go to the high street now.
High Street.
Main Street, sorry.
Jesus.
I'm in English mode.
That looks
this
so
is part
depressing.
of Main Street.
This is part of Main Street. All right, so this is can we have the music back on?
Don't do it, Colin. Don't listen to it.
I want to tell every time I tell a story, I want this music, please.
All right, you can have it, but only for a small amount of time.
For only a small amount of time, are you rationing out the kick-ass music? Thank you.
We'll run out of some
vinyl.
vinyl.
They invented a mascot in 2001 called the Subway Sub, right? Because that's how shittily inventive that Subway was that what's our mascot? Oh, well, McDonald's has a clown, Burger King has a king. How about the sandwich? We'll settle with the sandwich. So I was the Subway Sub. And I had to
what, you dressed up as it?
I was on the sub, and I was on like that high road.
Yeah.
And people would just drive by and honk at me while I was very depressed. And then, of course, the guy who ran the place, who had like a mullet that also had blonde highlights, and after September 11th had him, he called him Osama bin Who Gives a Shit. And he would say, Osama bin Who Gives a Shit. He would just work that into sentences that he didn't like Osama bin Laden. We'd be like, we assumed that. Like, he just attacked America. Anyway, And then he was just like, the old sub used to do aerobics, and he used to do backflips. It was really cool. And I was like, yeah, well, you hired a 250-pound one, so that's not happening.
That guy sounds like he's going beyond the Call of
Oh
Duty
man, he
there.
was the best. He a guy tried to quit, and he just didn't let him. He was like, I don't want to work here anymore. And he was like, no, you work here. And then the kid just stayed for like 2 months.
I think that happens when you're a kid, man. You just get bullied into. You don't understand that you're allowed.
Oh man, by a grown man who is
German.
clearly on steroids
Yeah.
just for sport. Oh man, I really
Yeah,
hope that
happens.
guy still owns that place. He was beautiful. His name was Rich. Oh my god. I tore my ACL playing football, and I told him, and he just didn't believe me. So he tried to make me work, and I was like, I'm not showing up. He's like, well, if you don't show up, you're fired. I was like, I'm fired then. Like, I don't have kids, man. I don't need this fucking job at a Subway. Jesus Christ. Well, you're actually, if you go turn around,
Oh, where am I going?
like, legitimately, you have so far to go to
This
find
is
anything.
a lot of Canada. Just looks like this, right?
Oh, this is well, this specifically is not a city. This is a boring ass town. Is this the most boring town you've seen?
It's quite boring. But
Thank
lots
you.
of America and Canada is like this.
Yeah, well,
Just-
we have more
just
space. We
roads.
don't have a goddamn. Ooh, there's 4 square feet of space. Could you? Why the fuck is the music on?
Don't listen to that. That music's just for the.
Colin
clouds.
can't look me in the eyes anymore. Colin can't look me in the fucking eyes. Tell me why the goddamn music.
Did anyone hang on? While we're here, Colin, did anyone comment in on those clouds, Colin?
No, not so far.
Right,
And
pretend
I-
I didn't ask.
I had to turn the music down. It was too bleak.
It was
That story with that music. Watch it
Look,
back
you're
later.
depressed, Colin. That's why I said.
I thought it was a fun story.
Don't keep the music on.
I thought it was a fun story. You legit, you got to keep going so much. Just keep on clicking.
Where am I going to?
You're going to the main strip in Stouffville. We're
Okay.
transporting you. There's a bar I did a show at. All right. I don't know if this is still a thing, but there's a bar in Stouffville where they wouldn't let anyone in who was under 25.
In case they try to beat him up.
Well, I mean, yeah. Because kids
In
fight.
case they're
Like,
trying to do a dad
that's what
fight.
happens when you get so bored. You're like, I'll just move my way up the food chain. It's the ultimate, like, young lion, old lion thing. But it's just in a small town, and everyone, like...
That is, yeah, I haven't heard that before, man.
You haven't heard of fighting dads?
No,
You're such a nerd.
you heard of that, Colin? Find a dad. If they didn't have it in Ireland, man, then it's
Then it's
weird.
weird?
Then it must be weird.
You're still on Main Street. No, now you're
Oh
on
shit,
Ninth Line.
shit. Hang on. Sometimes I get lost.
The party's happening. This is the type of town where, like, we would all have...
Oh, hang on a sec. Was I going the right way?
Turn.
Down here.
Yeah, keep going.
Down there.
You're
yeah?
almost there.
All right, cool,
And I will
cool,
tell you
cool.
another story. I hope the pizza place is still there, because I can tell you a story. Well, I'll tell you a story before you see the pizza place. There's a guy who just got out of jail, freshly out of jail, right? And he stood outside the pizza, just punching people in the face.
Dads or any people, mums.
Oh, buddy, this was open to any age. Not gender. He would not punch women.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman. Not really a gentleman, because he was just sucker punching people. But he just got out of jail. Next day, 1 a.m. It was Friday. Waited outside Pizza and just started punching people in the face.
Sounds brutal, man.
Yeah.
So was
It
it?
was very funny. No, this is like isolate. Like, I'm
Yeah,
only
I
telling
know
you this
you-
because it's the most dramatic thing.
Yeah,
Most
yeah.
days.
But was it generally a violent place though, or is that?
No. It's just
No.
like, it's a really nice.
I say
that's
that
the
as
pizza.
it's like a couple
Oh, that's Dr. Watt's office.
basket.
He
what
treated
do
me
you
a
call
lot
this?
different. Let's throw this out there. When I turned, I think I was like 13, and it started being like me and my mom used to go. She's very overprotective, but then once I started going one-on-one, he lost all his bedside manner. It was just like, because I was used to this nice man talking to me.
Is this you say
when I was
dentist,
sick?
dentist or the doctor?
This is
The
doctor.
Yeah.
And I was used to this nice man talking to me. And then I was like, and then around 13, be like, oh, he just wanted to fuck my mom. That sucks. But he was like, I was like, do I have a cough? And he was like, I don't care. I don't know. He was just like, yeah, I think. Shut up. I was like, all right, well.
This is the thing we're doing this live. I'm sure there's some sort of litigation there.
Litigation.
Just saying, you know what I mean? Just saying this doctor wanted to fuck your mum.
Make love.
Make love. Yeah, that's more like
My
it.
mom's a classy woman. You want to
That's
make
more-
love to her.
That's
So you
more
take a
like it,
left. Take a left. Oh, there's the
Down
tracks.
here, down the tracks.
Oh,
See,
some
this
goddamn
is
fights on the tracks, baby.
See, this is the type of stuff we like. Here.
The tracks?
Good bit of railway.
What happened to the tracks? That guy parks there. That guy just parks there.
But that is a very, the crossroads is a very
Can we put the music
symbolic
back on?
thing, right? Put the yeah. Let's get some music.
No, wait. Can we put what's that song? What's? I remember these tracks. That's where I tried heroin for the first time.
The tracks of life.
I punched a dad and I took his heroin. Keep going down these tracks.
You can't go down there, man.
You can't go down the tracks.
Can't go down the track. Well, you can, but you'll just never be able to come back.
Dave's just looking into the distance. So this music is really funny.
Canada.
There was
Do you salute the flag
so
in
if you
Canada?
take a left,
Canada.
if you take a left, do we salute the flag? No. No one, Canada has no identity.
Can I salute
Here's
you?
Canada. Here's Canada. When people ask where you're from, they just are like, oh, well, I'm an 8th Portuguese. Or they just like pare down their ancestry. To seem
What's
like
your
front.
what's
If you
your
take a right,
what's
take
your ancestry?
My ancestry? White. Super white.
Why? But where from? Do you know?
When you're white, you don't look because you just
You
assume
don't
it's
know.
nefarious. This is Stouffville. There's the art center. There's a nice art center. There's a bowling alley. There was a place where there was a blackout. Cut the music. Cut the music.
Cut the music. Yeah. I'm just
Do
worried.
you have
it might-
different music?
Yeah, there isn't any
No,
other
just
music.
one type of music.
Well, there's a title, but you get to hear that at the end. If
There's a title I
if
get
you've
to hear
been
at the
good.
end. I'm going on my phone.
Texting his phone now.
No. I'm taking my phone out to load up a song that I need for one of my stories. Because apparently there's no fucking tech in this shit. Ooh, we're
No
live
tape. We got
streaming.
Colin here. All right. Anyway, so what
Colin's
else happened
lovely.
on the street?
This is the town of a boring town. They have a storefront. They're like, who gives a shit? Just don't put anything there.
What is that shit? That looks
That
kind of
used to be a bank. That used to be a CIBC, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. There's a big clock tower. There's a skate park over there.
Is it?
Yeah, there's
you ever hang
the
out at the
skate park really revolutionized Stovall. Yeah, I used to smoke weed in the skate park.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, other people did. I would just say I did and then not.
Just watch him.
I've never been able to smoke weed around people. They would smoke weed and like, I'm going to take a huge hit. And I was like, yeah, you do that. I'm going to have my wits totally about me.
Oh really?
Because otherwise I'll take a hit and be like, it all ends at some point, doesn't
You're
it?
too paranoid even without it.
Yeah. Funeral home. Fun.
Oh yeah.
Now the music. I'm sorry, the music thing's done, isn't it? That
I
guy.
love Colin's looking at me like, shall I? You can play the music, man.
This guy, real story. This guy on the screen here, he just goes to everyone's funeral. It's disgusting.
He's really.
He does
is really small.
We're gathered.
Oh, he's disappeared. He's dead now.
That he's in a funeral.
He's
We're
just gone to
gathered
a funeral.
here for the funeral of Joe. Where are the fucking snacks? That's what he does. And then, if that guy's someone's dad, the guy that's dead, he beats up the dead corpse. It's crazy. Some things don't change, Dave. Some things don't change. Should we move on to a place that has people in it?
Yeah. Where do you want to go? Oh, what about this? I want to know what this thing is.
Oh, that's
What the hell is this?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, this doesn't have any pictures, which is crazy. But this is the Stovall Flea Market, and you would go there, and it was like the only thing to do in Stovall. So you.
It happened here.
Yeah, I mean, like, just independent vendors would show up and sell, like, corn and stuff, and that's where I stole the Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee sex tape from a vendor there, and then I was very disappointed that it was, like, I'll tell you, they were ahead of the time, though. They were ahead of the time.
They were, man. That was the first big one, wasn't it?
A lot of POV in there.
Yeah.
Now POV's huge.
You sound like a connoisseur.
Hey, man. I'm a sad guy. Yeah, I stole some pornos from there, brah. A lot of good beef jerky. You know, here's the thing. Now everyone, it's like a big hipster thing to like. I hate the word hipster. It's a very trendy thing. I think it's a conscious thing to go to farmers markets because it's like local and blah 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 blah. I think people kind of forget what it's like to actually deal one-on-one with a guy who just is a farmer. Because they're weird. I remember being super weirded out the whole. There was used to be a guy who sold hockey cards there, and I really liked hockey cards when I was a kid, you know. And there was a day when he didn't have hockey cards anymore. He just had Pokemon cards. It was the worst day of my life.
And
I never forgave him.
Where does the farmer thing come in?
flea markets just have all these fucking weirdos at it,
Yeah, yeah.
but I feel like people have like glamorized.
I
what
hear
it's-
you saying, yeah, because those people working on those markets aren't farmers.
Yeah, they're just fucking weirdos.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this guy. Then we had Ken Baumgartner, who was he was a NHL player, right? He did a signing at the Stouffville flea market. And, you know, like here's how boring this town is. One of the members of the baseball team, the Toronto Blue Jays, once walked through Toronto. Like his car broke. I don't know what happened, but he went to like the Harveys in Toronto and got a burger, and that we talked about that for years. For years we talked about it. So Ken Baumgartner coming into town, he was on the Maple Leafs. I was 8. It was 1993. They had just made the conference finals, so they almost won the Stanley Cup. It was a huge thing. And he's eating his cheeseburger, and he's looking down, and I'm with my Nana, and he looks down, and he goes, I was like, and I just, he's my hero, so I like give him a thing, and he signs it, whatever, doesn't even look up, gives it to me. And my Nana knows he's my hero, so he goes, oh, ask him how Felix is. And Felix was the goalie for the Maple Leafs at the time, and then he went, he looks up, and he goes, how the fuck should I know? I don't fucking care. He just kept eating. I hope I make someone that sad. That would be a goal of mine. That would have been appropriate for the music. But then, true story.
Don't do it, Clive.
Me and Ken, like, I look forward to going to your funeral, Ken. I'm gonna heckle you. The end.
That was a real sad story, man.
No, it wasn't.
Let's move on from the.
Also, no worries, Ken Baumgartner.
Main
If
Street.
you're on Facebook Live, you're a big Dave Greed fan.
I think he's probably one of the five viewers again. Right. So what's
There's
what's
probably
this,
like 10.
What's this place?
This is the college I went to, Humber Lakeshore campus.
Humble. What did you do there? What did you study?
Comedy.
You taking the piss?
No.
For real?
There was a
No.
2-year comedy course. That I met lovely people there. But it was just run by like Canadian
That's so
road
funny,
comics,
man.
and they were just
So hang
nuts.
on. So that's like a proper university studying
No,
comedy.
I got a certificate. That's not a thing. Like there's no degree. It was just a certificate,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is a thing I did. I don't even think that's a thing. It's not even a diploma. Like
It's
it's
so-
less than high school.
it's
Like
so
I
weird,
I
isn't it?
graduated high school and then I moved to something lower than high school. Like I basically went back through middle school.
Because there's somewhere here, isn't there? I think the University of Kent, you can study comedy. I remember doing a gig
Yeah?
there, and I remember wanting to say to the people, "Look, just move to London,
Just don't do
just do a
this.
couple of gigs." But what was your experience? I mean, you actually did it. What,
It was like
did you
it
learn
was really
anything?
good. Did I learn anything? No, you learn by doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people like it was 2 years for love of God, and the second year I was like, I'm gonna drop out, but then I just didn't, and I really should have just dropped out and saved my money. But
It's funny because to me,
But
as
the
you
weird
say,
thing
comedy
is-
is something you've got to do it to learn how to. It's almost like studying football for 2 years and then going, right, go and play some football.
yeah, but
And
you know what the
do you know
worst
what I
thing about starting is? Like the way that comedy classes and comedy schools help you start is the hardest thing in comedy is, I mean, there's a lot more comedy classes now, so there's a lot more comedians, and I genuinely believe that's why there is a lot more comedians, is because the hardest thing is going to open mic, bombing, and then wanting to do it again enough that you return until you have friends. Whereas when you come in with 7 people that are already starting, it's way easier because you can just bomb together for a long time.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
Because I don't think the bombing is it's just, you need camaraderie, and then no one wants to talk to the guy who fucking
Yeah, when
sucks.
you're the new kid, no one's
Yeah, no one's gonna, hey man, like, unless you're good right off the hop, and then people want to be your friend. But then usually people that want to be your friend right away, you don't want to be their friend for, you know what I mean? So anyone who talks to a new person is fucking weird. Ace of Fades? Jesus Christ. Where are we going here?
Place. I don't know, man. I'm just wandering along. So what else happened here? So, hang on. We're in Toronto now, right?
We are in Toronto now. This is why I thought
So you moved there to study comedy.
this is where I thought the big city was, and now Lakeshore is a lot. Like it's got a lot of like pawn shops. Like it's really. I mean,
Quite
this is
run
so
down.
funny. What you're looking at this, and being like, this is a rough place in Canada, but it was a rough place at that time. Not really, but like it was just more run down.
It does look a little bit rundown.
Yeah, and they had, and I was like, wow, the big city. Look at all these pawn shops. And it was just, yeah, there was like, there was some weirdness there. One of my friends we got a like gun pulled on us.
For real.
Yeah. Because my friend was kicking all these mailboxes. And,
I love it. You start off the story and I'm like, wow. What
No,
happened
there was
there?
a
It's like
reason.
victims of some crime. You know, "Oh, just
This guy was like,
vandalizing
"This
stuff."
is my hood, man. This is my hood. Don't fuck up my hood." And then my friend immediately started punching him, and they got into like a weird scuffle. And in getting the scuffle, oh man, 15th Street. Can we go down 13th Street if that's all right? Oh, that seems
Yeah.
innocuous.
So I go this way.
Yeah, turn around.
Back the way we
turn around. So they get into this fight and pull him apart. We didn't know the guy had the gun at the first, obviously. But this friend kind of saw there was like 6 of us and there were 2 of them. So this friend kind of did the math and was like, all right, well, this is nuts. And pulls out this gun that my friend, there was only one of us that was sober, my friend RJ, and he's the one who was like, this guy has a gun. But all of us were so drunk that we were just like, you get a fucking gun, I'll shove that fucking gun up your ass. You know what I mean? And I certainly thought it was, I didn't think it was a real gun.
Is it this one or the next one?
Take a big, there should be like there should be a Rabba Fine Foods, and it's down that street. So it's on the left side there.
So let's talk about, how did you start, you moved here to do comedy. What made you want to do comedy?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know what else to do. Now I'm here.
But, I mean, did you grow up as a big comedy fan? Is that?
Yeah.
how
I
did
just
you get into-
I was just a big comedy fan. And then I would
It's not this one, is it?
turn around the whole time. All the way around. Keep going that way.
Back to work.
Yep. And I was a big comedy fan. Pretty much just really wanted to do it. And then I started being like a bit of a weird asshole. Oh, that's where the guy pulled the gun on my buddy.
Oh, really?
Right there.
Down there?
Yep, right there. Right there.
Shit.
Right in front of there. That's the guy that did
That's
it.
the guy,
He's got his head down.
You say he's ashamed of what he's done.
This guy is the guy who loved to go to funerals, kid. That's true. So yeah, I don't know. Like, how did you get into it? Just like same thing? Were you a class clown?
I did a course as well. But I think I
Really?
was trying to write. I was making videos actually that was like a little bit funny, but more weird funny, and then got into it through that.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, like, I was in a band. We were in a horrible comedy band at high school. We tried to do sketches. Like, we saw Spinal Tap, and we thought that was a thing, so we tried to do, a Spinal Tap thing that I hope the footage is burned from. I really do. You know what I mean?
So you're doing like song parodies and stuff? Or?
No.
Do you want to go down here? Is this where
you know,
that's 17th.
Oh, all right. Turn around. Just keep going down that main street.
Yeah, it was
but,
the other way. It was the other way.
But song parodies, no. We just did like our whole thing was there was American Idol, and there's this guy Keith who sang like a virgin, and the whole thing with him was, oh, isn't he the worst singer in the world? And then I thought, I'm way worse than that guy. So our whole thing was to be the worst band in the world, and we didn't like right down to the fact that none of our songs were songs. It was just we would sign up for Battle of the Bands and then just sell no tickets, go on at the end, and play like 35 minutes of just nothing. Like one of our friends, no rhythm whatsoever, and he just kept hitting this drum, and he would do that for like 30 minutes. But my friends knew how to play guitar, so they would tee up Moby Dick for him. So they go bam, 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 and then whatever,
Yeah.
and then they'd be like, "Oh, I guess this kid's really good at drums." Nope, he doesn't. He has no. Oh, turn around.
Oh, the other way.
Turn the fuck around.
Down there.
Keep going down. All right, in this house we got evicted from. This is where we got evicted because my friend was throwing beer bottles in the alley, and we are not the good guys in this story. So this guy ran a construction company, and he would always basically threaten to fight us. But he was someone's dad, so what do you do when you're from a small town in Canada? You want to fight a fucking dad, bro. So yeah, and we got kicked out, and with good reason. Like I remember knowing that we were wrong. You know when the first time, like not the first time in your life, but like one of the times where you're like, this is big and I'm wrong. This is big. And it was like right there.
Who won the fight?
Yeah, right there. This is also, I was sitting on the stoop, me and my friend were sitting and drinking, and a guy came up to me and was like, what the fuck did he say? He was like, yo, can I get one of those beers? And he was so much scarier than us, and we were like, yeah. So I just gave him the beer. But I remember I sold my friend out completely, because he comes up with like 6 dudes, big, they're just all big, and we're like scared as fuck, like 19-year-olds, and he's like, can I get a beer? I was like, yep, and I just went in, my friend, alone with him. He's like, you guys cool guys? My name's Dyson. Do you want to know why? And we were like, yes. And then he goes, because I got this year, but I don't got this one. It got cut off in prison. And we were like, take it all. And we gave him a beer, and he was like, do you guys want to hang out? We were like, no. Like, no, please no.
And you claim it wasn't a violent atmosphere here, but...
Oh, no, this neighborhood's kind of like... No, but that's the thing. Like, if you look, if you were to look...
Yeah.
Like, look at this neighborhood. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I would tell you, like, oh, yeah, this is a rough neighborhood. And anywhere else in the world, they'd be like, get fucked. Like, we're like right next to the lake.
Yeah.
Lake Ontario. There you go.
Well,
that's the market for some white trash, though. Just people on the lawn.
Just lounging.
See, this is the neighborhood class right there. Yoga pants, 2 small dogs, and then there's 3 people smoking because they got none shit to do. This guy's got a rocking chair, for Christ's sakes. It's really good.
What's that on that pillow?
That's
a weird bag.
If something's ugly in Canada, we just
cover up.
Yeah, exactly.
Just cover up.
Exactly. So yeah, I was doing that. I was doing open mics at the time. What we had? We can go to the next one with John.
So where's that hat? Yeah, what's this one?
This one. So this is actually a screenshot from 2009. This is like the open mic that me and other Canadian comics of not of note.
Fox and Fiddle.
No one's noting these Canadian comics, but a lot of me and my friends started. My friends are going to do big things, and you know what? Not me.
Oh, come on.
I've started. No, you shut your fucking mouth. So that building, though, the reason I took the building, the Fox and Fiddle, this is a screenshot from 2009, by the way. This is 8 years. Because this has long become condos. That was a place where, like, we learned, and it was like, for some reason, there was like an English hostel right around, like English, but it was only rugby players. So we learned how to do, like I always say, I've been doing stand-up for, I think, about 13 years now, 14 years, but I've been writing stand-up for 8 years, because the first 6 years, like until I was 24, I was doing comedy at that fucking show. So you're just learning the sensibility of like a one-nighter in England, where it's just like
crowd control.
Crowd control, and like every joke is you're like, and then violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like just violence.
Yeah.
You had to, every joke was
It's kind
like,
of a weird way around.
and then I crushed a baby's head, and they were like, yes, yes, you did. Ha ha ha. Good laugh. And then like I don't know. And then
so they were real rough gigs. The first ones you were
just
doing.
No one there, so you're just trying to get people's attention, or everyone at the bar's talking, so you just have to get people's attention. Like it's one of those gigs where you knew you were killing if everyone shut the fuck up, and no one ever shut up. And and that's where Bobby. I mean, I had a broken leg at the time, and Bobby Mayer got punched.
So you guys used to live together, didn't you?
Yeah, we lived
in this.
At Bathurst. This is after the Fox and Fiddles closed down, though.
So what was going on in this period when you were? Was there like a few comics living there, or just you and Bobby?
It was me and Bobby. We had lived in a shithole before. And yeah, we lived in a shithole before, and this is a place where he moved in with a girl really quickly, and unbeknownst to me, I was seeing my now wife, and she won't watch this, so who cares? This girl, it was a really, really old building, and she put in, but there was mice, and like me and Bobby are slobs, so we're just kind of okay with the mice. She was obviously not okay with the mice. The reason I get mad is because she put mouse traps in my fucking room without my knowledge. So one of the first dates I went on with my wife, we're like in my room, and there's just mice dying, and I just got her to listen to headphones and made an excuse and cleaned up the mice.
Oh man!
But it's like it was just it was like, oh, do you want to watch The Wire? Like it's just like the death rattle of a mouse. Not only that, but they didn't want to throw out the mice, so they just put all these mouse traps, and I just had to deal with all the death. It was horrible. And then later, sewage pipe burst after we moved out, and they just didn't fix it. And then the place got condemned, I think, and then reopened, I suppose. But now, yeah, everything in Toronto's condos now. It's the worst. Like this place used to be a place you could buy single cigarettes. Oh baby.
Oh really?
Yeah. I don't know why they don't do that, but you can't buy single cigarettes anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
You can buy single cigarettes there. There's Albert's. Can you turn around here? Turn all the way around. There you go. There's another Subway, baby. The Subway sub coming down there.
Down there.
Yeah, click down there. Click down there. 2 seconds. Right. Another click. This place. Tell me. Click again. Click right on that building there. Perfect. Keep clicking. There's Albert's Real Jamaican
Done it,
Food.
done it.
Lovely place. This is a great place to eat. Great place to eat. But let's look at the logo here. Click right on the side of the building. They still have it. They still have the logo. No, they cleaned it up. Legitimate blackface.
What was it? Oh, really?
Yeah, for a long time. Oh, there you go. There's the logo.
Oh, it's still there.
Still black. It's just a.
Man, this is from like 10 years ago, right? So they could have got rid of it.
No, this is last year.
Is this current?
Right there, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Great place to eat. Great place to eat. And it supports your viewpoints, Dave, so why not?
I don't listen to him.
No, Dave showed me a lot of his cartoons and tasteless.
I actually drew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
This is a Dave's graffiti.
It's a little
this
back,
isn't their
it's a little
logo.
backhander we've got with Albert's.
Oh, really?
So yeah, we'll show you.
Oh, and you
I'll
came
do
up
your
near
logo
Albert's.
and I'll show it on the video.
and you
It's going live.
did comedy near Albert's, didn't you? No. Well, we could do so if we want to do Keel Street, this is where I moved in after I went to college.
Where's
Not
Keel
this place.
Street? Oh, no,
This is kind of like I also lived right around the corner from here.
So you lived here, yeah?
Yeah, I lived right there, like right that house. And that's another place we got kicked out. 213 Keel Street. Can we go to the picture here and see if they have any older versions
Let's go
of
back
it?
in time.
We can go back in time to maybe 2007. 2007. Let's see what Keel Street was looking like in 2007, because that might have been actually when we were there, which is insane. There's Keel Street, 2007. We take a left here. Yeah, that's insane, man. So
That's when you were living there.
yeah, this was the classic 7 comedians living in a place. We all paid $300 Canadian. Didn't have to have a job because it was so cheap, and we all just were like, it should have been condemned. We could have.
How is that all
easily-
living with comics? I've never done that. What's it like?
I don't know. Do you like living with? Do you care about
I
cleanliness?
guess it's kinda
I
like
see
a-
your place.
like a uni.
You care about cleanliness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
then you would hate it.
Yeah.
It's if you don't have self-respect, it's great, and I don't, so it's great. I don't know. We like smoke inside, like smoke cigarettes inside. What else do we do? Like, man, it was just so bleak and nerdy. One of the guys. Well, I didn't see my friend, but one of the guys there would. He just didn't pay the gas bill, and then somehow his Diablo 2 game, like, and this, keep in mind, this is still 2007. The Diablo 2 has been out. Like, how long, Colin? You know. Anyway, it'd be like a 10-year-old
Colin's
game.
falling asleep.
10-year-old game at this point, and it broke, and he just wouldn't pay the bill. And that was like, I don't know, man. It was just pathetic. Like, didn't you ever live in like a super pathetic
Yeah.
place?
I did that when I was at uni. Yeah.
Like, how pathetic was yours?
Pretty pathetic, man. Yeah, like just piles of washing up and just
Pi-
mess.
Just
mess.
piles of washing up. Nerd. No, we adopted a dog that was on its last days. We broke a bunch. We broke, like, there was a shed, and we just broke the shed one day because we were idiots and just assholes. It was the worst. We're the most privileged pieces of shit in the world. Oh, man.
But doing comedy together.
Sad house. No, some of the guys, like, I was the only guy who do regularly. They all just said they were doing comedy. That's the other thing a lot of comedy classes breed, is people who just say, like, oh, I'm getting back into it. You're not going to it. You're not going to, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to be poor forever.
Yeah. You've either
It's
got
either
to be
for
doing
some
it or you're
people.
not, right?
So I used to work at a Starbucks, like, way up the way here, and I got fired from it with the worst customer review in the history of that Starbucks. I got 30 out of 30? 10%.
That's quite low. What did you do that was so bad?
I just didn't do anything right. Like, I figured out that I could have got a better customer review had I, like, just taken the order perfectly, but with my penis out. They would have been like, that's a 4. That's a 4 and a 4.
I can
you know what I
imagine
mean?
you
I got a
being
4-inch
quite
penis, and that's a 4 score. You know what I mean? 4 score and 4-inch penis ago. That's the size of my penis. Can this be the trailer?
Let's put that music back on. Actually, no, don't. So let's go to London now.
Let's
This
go to
is
London.
where you're living now, right?
Yeah, this is where I'm living
Straight
now.
on. We won't show your actual house,
No, we are.
but let's
Zoom in on my house.
You
right-
really want to show your actual
Yeah,
house?
it's right there.
All right.
It's right there.
It's going live because this is going live on the internet, so people now will
Yeah.
realize you.
No, that's not my house at all. It's someone else's house.
It'd be a perfect time to rob Dylan's house. You got a massive mirror there.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Did you look at that?
That's
Your
me. That's me
vanity mirror?
masturbating in the. What the hell is that in that mirror? That's a table, right? That's not a guy
I think it's a
standing
massive-
looking out his
I
own
think
mirror.
it's a massive mirror. So what? Let's talk about the different. What was it like when you came to London? What were your first impressions?
My first impressions, just smaller. It's like a lot more busy and a lot more dirty. It was good. Like, I mean, everyone can say, you know, it's older. It's like look at London. This is Streatham. Streatham's nice. Streatham's nice. You got a lot of greenery and stuff. But like, look at just like look at the pavement. I suppose. Look at that pavement right there.
It's a nice bit of pavement.
Yeah, look at that pavement. Right.
That's
Zoom
older
in
than
on
the
that.
whole of Canada.
And now let's try.
We're doing pavement comparisons.
Yeah. Much
This is
better.
definitely the highlight of Dave Green's Street View show.
Look at
Dave
that.
Green's pavement show.
Look at the amount of cigarettes on there. 3. How many? How many are on
It's a
there?
very scientific comparison.
Look at that. No cigarettes. Look at all these fucking cigarettes.
Yeah, that's a lot of cigarettes.
Disgusting.
So you're
city.
saying that's the main difference? Cigarettes per paving stone.
I measured it.
I
out.
know. I've done the studies.
Listen, Dave.
Yes,
You and your racist
Dylan.
fucking cartoons. No, yeah, it's dirtier. It's nice. It's the same thing. You know, it's still like an English speaking city. It's full of British people, which is all right. Canada's weird because like London, it sounds weird, but Toronto has this thing where it's like it's very much like a little brother syndrome, where it's like, you know how every Drake song ends with him just saying he's from Toronto.
Yeah,
Everyone in Toronto loves that shit. Whereas London, I don't know, people don't even shout, "I'm from London." You just sound like an idiot. You just sound your borough, right?
Yeah.
You can still just be from Toronto. So it's like Toronto was really annoying in that way, which is why I kind of like it's pretty much why I kind of moved, because just spending too much time in one place is weird, because then you just attach your identity to it in a weird way. You don't want to have your identity be just that you're part of a place. So I moved here, and comedy's good here. It's just kind of like all around better in some ways. But like life wise, Canada's much better. Like
Cheaper to live.
it's just bigger spaces. There's not as many people. I mean, it's super boring to say, but it's like you guys got 60 million people in an area that's like not as big as the part of Canada I lived in. So I mean, that sounds boring, but it's like just way more space.
Yeah.
You can swing your dick above your head in Canada. Here, what do you got to do? You got to grow a small dick genetically, I assume, right? Is that a thing? There's
Play some
pavement.
music on the pavement, Colin.
What is that? For thousands of years. Yeah, it's really good pavement.
It's good pavement, isn't it? Right.
All right, maybe we stopped it on the wrong one. What? Cut off the music again. You need a better
No, that
signal.
was for the- that
You're
was
not
for the-
James fucking
That
Brown.
was for the
Dave.
pavement.
You can't just go.
1, 2, 3.
Cut it.
Roll. So now I'll tell you a good way to end it. That's what we do is we go back to your hometown.
Don't direct me.
What we do, Dylan.
Here's how I'll end it.
We go back to your hometown, and then we say, if you could give advice to the young Dylan Gott, if you saw him walking along there, what would you say to him?
If I saw a young Dylan Gott,
Yeah. And don't say you'd fuck him, because I know that's what you like to
I would never do that. Is that what you see in the clouds? Is young
I
me?
just sense that's what you're going to say.
You see, I'm not gonna say that. Here's what I would tell the young Dylan Gott. I'd say, don't change a fucking thing. Things work out sick. You got a wife now. That means that's at least a couple times for sex. That's pretty good. You're a comedian now. That's pretty sick. One thing I would say, don't start smoking. It's bad for you. All right? I wink bad, don't I? Don't start smoking. It's bad for you. Ugh. Take care of yourself, too. You got bad bones. I got a surgery one time, and the doctor was like, you have old lady bones. And I was like, hold up, buddy.
Old lady.
That
not
hurts.
Even, not even old man.
No. He made it gender. I was like, I have gender neutral bones, actually. I told him that. And then I have a gender neutral bone right now, and I pointed at a hard dick. You can use that. No, I don't know. Things work out. If I saw a young Dave Green walking down the street, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, Dave Green? Why are you walking in Canada?
Wait in here.
And he'd be like, oh, Google Street View. Oh, a trailer's a big thing in Canada.
Listen,
It's
Google
so
Street.
boring, man. I'm so glad I moved. That was the best thing I ever did. The best thing I ever did was
Get
move.
out of here.
Did you just live in a shitty town too when you were a kid?
I lived in Twickenham, so it's kind of a nice place, but yeah, not that.
But I mean,
Not that
nothing this
interesting.
barren.
Yeah, it wasn't as boring as this.
Like people drive 5 minutes to get milk because they're like, there's nothing in your eye line that's any different. Like, it's not an interesting walk anywhere. Like, you walk along London, you see different stores and stuff, you don't really realize how that's a whole, it's entertaining and it makes the time pass faster. Like, even the walk from like the station to here was like probably as long as I would have walked to go to a mini mart when I was a kid, but it's like there's a changing view, you know? That field, there was fights in that when I was a kid. Dad on dad. That's where the dads would come to decide who was the real dad. There was a Big Daddy, before it was a movie, was a trophy you would get for being the strongest dad in Stouffville. Yep. That's true.
Is that a fact? Do you think you're going to have kids so you can go back and
be on the lookout for some fucking punks?
Get for, yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have kids. I'm going to be the aggressor, though. I'm going to go into high schools, punch fucking kids in the back of the goddamn neck, and I'll be like, beat you to it. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? Try and press charges against me? I was like, don't fucking talk to me like that. And then I punch them out. And then I'm like, you're someone's dad too. Bam. I'm their dad. And then I'll have kids that way. That's how adoption should work. You have to beat up the dad.
And then you win the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think that makes sense too.
Cool, man. I think that'd be a good place to end it, you know? We've done
done
the whole of your life.
It's so boring, isn't it?
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
But I just wish, like, have you ever had anyone here with like a real story?
What do you mean?
Like, who went through some hardship and it wasn't just like, yeah, and then I it's just like a cliche, like I was a suburban kid, I went to a comedy school, and then like I had a series of menial jobs, and now I'm a comedian who's doing like fine.
That's kind of what I like about it. The just clicking along, look at a pavement, play some music. It's your life.
I don't have any.
That's it. That's important.
That's important?
That's important,
all right,
man.
Can I play some music here?
You want to play your own music, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Is that allowed, Colin?
Can we do?
Have we got the technical capabilities?
No, I'm going to play my own. Is that okay?
Just play it through your
Colin's really worried.
Speaker.
No, I'm going to play through my phone. Guys, come on. Guys, please. Jesus Christ.
Well, you put some ambient music on while he finds it.
No, I found it.
He's got it.
Okay, cool. So, thanks very much for having me on, guys. Damn it. Wait a minute. It's not working. Okay.
Is it your high school band?
Thank you very much for having me on, guys. It's really been a pleasure.
What is that?
What? You don't know what this is?
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, it's Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, nice.
Hulk Hogan's
All
theme
right.
music.
Colin, thank you.
That's it. Do you want to do a plug for your podcast? Tell people what's fun.
This is a plug for my podcast. I have a podcast called The Wrestler Review. If you like that part about where I said dads fight each other, and then the many times I said dick sucking things, and then plus this song, you're pretty much primed for it. It's me and John Hastings. Can you spin it to the theme of Real American?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, and and it's pretty much just a bunch of fart jokes. Plus, we preview a new wrestler every week if you're into that, if you like wrestling, or if you don't, give it a listen because it's pretty much just about carnies, weird fucking carnies. I love you. Thank you very much for having me on, Dave.
No problem, man. Check it out, guys. There we go. And this has been Dave Green's Street View Show. Hope you've enjoyed watching live. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page. He's been Dylan Gott. He's been Colin Chadwick. I've been Dave Green. All right. See you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.